Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Circus. In my last video, I made a sim inspired by Gyaru culture, and I ended up kind of not intentionally going off on a tangent about like the history of the subculture and just diving a little deeper than I ever meant to on a Sims video. But in the end, I actually really liked what I did. So I'm just gonna kind of ride that wave into this video, and today we're diving headfirst into the Coquette aesthetic. If you've been on the internet the past few years, you've probably noticed the use of the word aesthetic referring to a certain, oftentimes very specific style. The word aesthetic itself is defined by the Oxford Dictionary as concerned with beauty or the appreciation of beauty. And coquette is a French word that refers to a young and flirty woman. And in the mid-2010s, Tumblr took both of those words, mashed them together, and now, almost a decade later, every girl on Pinterest is wearing bows in her hair. The Aesthetic Wiki, I know, a very professional source, considers it to be a broad term including all sorts of feminine aesthetics. How many times can I say the word aesthetic in a video? The aesthetics that the Aesthetic Wiki lists are nymphette, dark nymphette, dollette, farmer's daughter, Key West kitten, waif, winter fairy coquette, gloomy coquette, bubblegum coquette, coquette academia, trailer park princess, blockette, and buckle bunny. Oh my god, there's so many. And one of them sounds like a slur. I feel like I shouldn't have said that word. The most common one, though, the one that you would really think of when you think of coquette, is dollette, which is probably one of the more recent kind of aesthetics. It wasn't really a thing until the 2020s. It kind of plays with elements of youthfulness and girlhood in a way that's more vintage than modern. A lot of the inspirations come from like the American dream, like suburbia vibe from like the 1950s, 1960s that like a lot of people like idealize. But some elements actually go back even further, all the way to Marie Antoinette in the Rococo era. Marie Antoinette may have died that day in 1793, but she is alive and well in the world of girly media. Includes a lot of florals, a lot of soft pastels, I couldn't think of the word. There's lots of ruffles and lace, and ribbons and pearls are big too. I feel like you don't see pearls a lot of times on like younger people, but there's been a rise recently, obviously in part to like this kind of vibe becoming popular. But the ribbons and the bows, I feel like I see everywhere. My sister wears bows in her hair, but she's not even like particularly girly. She wears sweatpants and crop tops and a bow in her hair. But it's just like that's just a thing now, which isn't a bad thing either. I'm not like shitting on it. I think bows are really cute. I used to wear bows all the time. I didn't dress myself in bows. My mom did because I was like 6. But, you know, I had like a little head and then a huge bow. The aesthetic is also like really intertwined with ballet and ballet court. There's so much of these weird niche like styles online. Sometimes it drives me insane. Like just scrolling through TikTok or something, and there's just like a new term for like this same recycled kind of idea. Oh, that's like a whole, I could make a whole other video on how that's like destroying the world. It's not really, I'm being a little dramatic, but sometimes like it's just so overwhelming. Anyway, it ties like hand in hand with ballet, which makes sense if you think about it, because it is like a very graceful and like typically very feminine form of dance. I do ballet myself. I don't consider myself to be coquette at all, really. Like, I like some elements of it, but I had to do, like, actual research because I don't follow it all that closely. I don't really follow any of these aesthetics closely anymore because there's just so much. It's overwhelming. It's way too overwhelming. All of my little, like, side tangents, I think I have ADHD. I think I have to get tested for that because I can't stay on track. Anyway, it also ties really closely to the singer Lana Del Rey. You could not really have this without her. Every single little like sub-aesthetic that I listed earlier, like they still tie in with Lana Del Rey. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a part of this community, you listen to Lana Del Rey, damn it. Sorry, I'm trying not to curse. I got really aggressive, but it does check out though, because back in like mid 2000s, 2000s, mid 2010s Tumblr, everybody like was like, oh, I'm not like other girls, I wear pants and I like read books or something, put my hair up in a messy bun, and then Harry Styles from One Direction comes and it kidnaps me from my bedroom window or something. Crazy times, fun times, crazy. Anyway, it kind of makes sense. This is like kind of the start of Lana Del Rey's career, and her fan base originally was Tumblr, was these like kind of more niche at the time communities where it was like, it was against the norm to be kind of girly and kind of vintage because everybody wanted to wear leggings and have their hair up in a messy bun. Crazy. Dude, they just don't make fan fiction like that anymore. That was such a time. Anyway, I actually like a lot of these aspects. Like, I do like bows, and I like a lot of the more like feminine silhouettes. I like vintage fashion. I like really anything to do with old clothing. I said before, I do ballet. I listen to Lana Del Rey. I feel like I like check all the boxes. I just like don't actually follow it all that closely. In general, it's like very romantic and yet very playful at the same time. I kind of like the whole it almost like plays on a fantasy of girlhood. It reminds me very much of like the Virgin Suicides or like Sofia Coppola movies. They lean very heavily on this like vintage inspired pastel girly aesthetic, and it's not really like, it does in a way like make me nostalgic, and it's odd because like I didn't have like a particularly like, I think I was like, okay, like I didn't grow up with vintage I didn't grow up in the 50s, I grew up in the 2000s, and everybody was wearing like low-rise jeans, and like they were like, it was the opposite, dude. Everybody's midriff was out and they had thongs out. It was a different era, so I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's just like a general like feeling of girlhood because I am a girl. Surprise. I don't think anybody's like surprised at that, but I am like a girl, and I did experience girlhood. Still I am, I guess, 'cause I'm only 19. Or maybe it's because I watched Lolita when I was 12, and it did affect my brain chemistry more than I thought. That might be it too. I'm actually leaning towards that might be true, actually. I think that's the case. That might be my red flag, that I saw the movie way too young. I understood what was happening. I understood it wasn't a love story, but like, I don't think I was really capable of processing it. Okay, I was supposed to be talking about a beautiful conclusion to like wrap it up in a beautiful like big bow. Haha, see what I did there? Bows, Coquette, haha, I'm so funny. Anyway, and I just went off on a tangent about how I just watch a lot of girly movies. I don't know. Anyway, making this sim was kind of hard. I don't know why. I guess I just wasn't feeling particularly inspired that day. I made it like weeks ago, so I don't remember much from it. But I gave her 2 outfits. I couldn't use the hair I wanted to use because I couldn't find the CC ribbons that go with it. I don't know if I maybe installed it wrong or something, or if I forgot to put them in the game. Probably something stupid. But it was a pretty hair, and I'm really sad. Also, her name is Marie French, like Marie Antoinette, and Antoinette. And Marie Antoinette was the Queen of France. She wasn't French. She was from Austria. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure, actually. I had to look that up, actually. But so, again, I'm coming through with the real creative names. Her favorite color is pink. My last sim, her favorite color was pink. And the sim before that, her favorite color was pink. So through this experience, I think I'm learning that my favorite color may be pink. I think this says more about me than does my sims. I think I've said most that I want to say about Coquette fashion, but I can't... I've like lost track of what I was saying and started rambling halfway through the video, so I don't even know like what I've said anymore, to be completely honest. One thing I know I haven't said that I want to note is through like looking into this kind of subculture, I guess, there's a lot of like skinny white women and like not a lot of color and body diversity, and I know I'm not the only one to point that out. I know I'm not the only person to notice that. I've heard it from other people. I've literally read it in articles, researching this. And to be completely honest, it makes sense that a fashion style so heavily inspired by that era, the 50s era of America, would kind of, like, you know, subscribe to those ideals of beauty. It's very traditional, and I just think it's kind of sad that in this day and age that we can give vintage fashion a twist, and yet we're still kind of subscribing to those toxic ideals. Like, come on. I feel like we can do better as, I would say as a community. I wouldn't consider myself part of the community though, just as people in general. I think we could do better. That's all though. I'm not sure how much of this video is left. Hopefully it's not too long. I don't like to just, I don't like to film the voiceovers per se, but I don't like to just have music behind the video because I know that my friends like to listen to me kind of like talk for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't ever listen to myself talk. I don't watch these videos back after I post them. I don't want to hear that, but they do. And also for my old channel, from experience, I've learned that voiceovers generally get more views than the music, and that's what I'm in here. I'm in it for the numbers, baby. I'm trying to pull the numbers. I'm trying to get monetized. I need money, please. I just lost my job. I need money. Anyway, thanks for listening. Sorry I rambled so much.